Ever get that, like, super frustrating feeling? When you're trying to message a company on, say, Instagram, and then you have to email them too. And it's like starting from scratch every single time.
Ugh. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Well, today we're going deep on something that might actually fix that whole mess.
Sounds promising.
We're talking about Meta,
Yeah.
Facebook.
Right, right.
And their big move back in 2020, they bought this company called Customer, dropped a cool $1 billion on it.
Wow, 1 billion. They must have seen something pretty huge in them.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So, Customer, right,
Mm.
they're all about customer service, but like Nest level stuff, their platform, it let businesses manage all their conversations. Doesn't matter if it's social media, email, even phone calls, all in one place.
So kind of like a central hub for all things customer related.
Exactly. They call it an omni-channel approach.
Yeah.
Fancy, right?
Makes sense, though. Everything's connected these days.
Totally. And our mission today, well, we're using this awesome research paper, it just came out in February from Cognitive Market Research.
Oh, okay.
And we're trying to figure out the why. Why did Meta spend so much on customer? How to change things for businesses trying to, connect with us with customers. And the big one, how might you, listening right now, be affected by this whole deal?
Yeah, I'm curious about that myself. How does this actually touch our lives?
That's what we're here to find out.
Ugh.
So first things first, why would Meta shell out $1 billion for this? What was the big play?
Well, the research points to this idea of Meta really wanting to up their game for businesses. Think about how many people are chatting on WhatsApp, on Messenger, on Instagram every day.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be like millions, right?
Way more than that. Billions, probably. So Meta's thinking, what if we take customers' tech and basically bake it right into those conversations?
Ah, so it's not just about the chat itself. It's about remembering who you are, what you've talked about before.
Precisely. It's about making those conversations smarter, more personalized.
That makes a lot of sense. This research paper, it actually talks about a rapid shift. That's what they call it. A rapid shift towards digital commerce and messaging-based customer support.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Think about it. You need help with something, what do? You probably message the company, right? It's just faster and easier than, like, waiting on hold forever.
Oh, absolutely. Email feels so old school now.
Right. And the research shows that this is happening more and more. So businesses, they're scrambling to keep up. They've got customers all over the place on different platforms.
And that's where Customer comes in. They were all about bringing order to that chaos. Their platform, the really cool thing is it used AI, artificial intelligence, to manage all those conversations no matter where they're happening.
AI, huh? That's pretty high tech.
It is, and the research suggests that this was like a match made in heaven for Meta. They called it a perfect synergy, I think, because Meta's got the platforms and customers got the brains to make those platforms work for businesses.
Okay, so Meta sees that everyone's chatting on their apps, right? How does customer actually make those chats better? Like, what changes for the businesses?
Well, it's about giving them the right tools. Before, it was just the space for the chat. Now, with Customer, they can actually manage those interactions way more efficiently. Imagine you message a company and boom, they instantly see all your past conversations.
Oh, that'd be nice. No more explain the same thing a million times.
Exactly. They can answer faster, give you better info, plus they can track your whole issue from start to finish. No more things getting lost in the shuffle.
And here's the big one for me, the personalization.
Oh yeah, that's crucial.
You can tell when a company's just, giving you a canned response. But when they actually get you, your specific
It
situation.
makes all the difference, makes you feel valued as a customer.
Totally. Now, the research also talked about something called the omni-channel experience.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
What does that even mean for us, like as regular people buying stuff?
Yeah. Think about how you interact with companies online. You might see an ad on Instagram, then head to their website. Maybe you use their little chat box to ask a question. Then later, you email them.
That happens all the time.
Right. The ideal situation is that the business remembers all those interactions. Doesn't matter how you contacted them.
Yeah, but that almost never happens, does it?
Sadly, no. Most companies, their systems are all siloed. You switch platforms, boom, you got to start from scratch, explaining your whole problem again.
That's so frustrating.
It is. And that's what Customer was trying to solve. Their whole platform was built to break down those silos, give businesses a complete view of your journey no matter how you choose to interact with them. And according to the research, that was a huge part of why Meta was so interested. They want things to be smooth, connected for both sides.
Makes sense. Happier customers, they spend more money, right?
Exactly. And it wasn't just about the big companies either. This research talked a lot about Meta wanting to help out smaller businesses too. The SMBs.
Right, the little guys.
Yeah. And how did they do that? Well, a lot of smaller businesses, they can't afford fancy, expensive software, right? So what Meta did was they took customer and they built it right into the stuff those businesses were already using. Facebook pages, Instagram business accounts.
Smart. So they don't need to buy extra stuff.
Exactly. It leveled the playing field, let them provide really good customer service without breaking the bank.
That's pretty cool, actually,
Yeah.
helping out the little guy. Now, the research paper, it really emphasized this idea of market research. Like, that's what drove Meta's decision. What were they seeing? What trends convinced them to make this move?
Well, there were a few big things. One was this huge rise of, we talked about it, messaging-based customer service.
Right, everyone's texting instead of calling.
Yep. And the data showed that people actually prefer it that way. They want quick answers on the platforms they're already using. Like, why switch apps when you can just get help right there?
I'm definitely guilty of that. Saves so much time. What else were they seeing?
Another biggie was the growth of, online shopping. Digital commerce. It's exploding, right? And a lot of that's happening on platforms like Facebook shops, Instagram shopping.
So you're scrolling, you see something you like, boom, you can buy it right there.
Exactly. But then what? What if you have a question about the product? Or you need help with your order?
Right, you don't have to switch to a whole other app or website.
Nope. So businesses needed tools to manage all that within those shopping platforms, and that's where customer CRM stuff came in. It fit perfectly with what Meta was trying to build.
So the future is like everything happening in one place.
It seems like it, yeah. And then there's the whole AI thing.
Oh, right, we talked about
That was another big trend. Businesses, they're getting slammed with customer messages, so they need AI to help them handle it all. They were already doing that. Using AI to answer simple questions automatically, prioritize urgent issues, even analyze how people are feeling based on their messages.
Well, like the AI can tell if you're getting frustrated.
That's the idea. And if it sees that, it can flag it for a human to step in.
That's actually pretty slick.
It is. Makes things so much smoother. And then, of course, there's the competition. Meta, they weren't the only ones watching all this happen.
Right, everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Exactly. You've got Salesforce, Microsoft, Google. They're all pouring money into customer service tech. So for Meta, buying customer was a way to stay in the game, to show that they're serious about this whole messaging-first approach.
And they've definitely got the users for it, right? Everyone's on their apps already.
Exactly. That's their big advantage. So yeah, pretty clear why Meta made this move, but how did it actually work? How did they take customers' tech and plug it into WhatsApp, Messenger, all that?
Yeah, good question. What changed under the hood?
Well, a few key things. First off, WhatsApp and Messenger, they got a big upgrade. Meta took all the core functions of customer CRM and built them right into those apps.
So businesses can do everything from those apps now.
More or less, yeah. They can set up auto replies for common questions. They can see your entire conversation history instantly. And they can use AI to give you more personalized support, all without ever leaving the app.
That's going to save them so much time.
Tons. And what about you, the customer? What changes do you see?
Well, hopefully things are just faster now. Like, if I've got a simple question, maybe a chatbot can answer it right away.
Right. And if you need to talk to a human, they've got all your info right there. They can help you way more efficiently. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. The research also mentioned this idea of seamless customer data management.
Oh, yeah. That's customers' bread and butter. They're all about giving businesses that complete view of you. That 360-degree view.
Right, like they know everything I've ever done with that company.
Exactly. And with this integration, they can pull data from everywhere. Facebook messages, WhatsApp chats, even comments on Instagram posts, all in one place.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
It is. But the idea is, the more they know, the better they can help you. They can personalize your experience, make sure you're not getting the same marketing emails over and over.
That'd be nice. No more spam.
Exactly. And then there's the whole online shopping piece. Remember Facebook shops, Instagram shopping?
Yeah, buying stuff right from the app.
Well, they integrated customer there too. So if you buy something through Instagram, you can ask questions, get help, all without leaving the app. The business can track your order, handle any issues, all in one system.
Makes sense. Keep everything nice and tidy. So it seems like, at least in theory, this is all good news, right?
On paper, yeah. More efficient, more personalized support. Sounds great.
But the research, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. They talked about some challenges too, some potential downsides.
Oh, yeah, there were definitely some hurdles. Big one, privacy.
Yeah, that's a hot topic these days.
It is. And Meta, they've had their fair share of issues in the past. So when they buy a company that handles tons of customer data.
Red flags start popping up.
Exactly. Regulators were all over this. Meta had to prove that they were going to handle our data responsibly.
Makes sense. What else were they up against?
Well, they were also going up against some big dogs in the CRM world. Salesforce, Microsoft. They've been doing this for years.
Right. They're the established players.
Exactly. So Meta had to convince businesses to switch, to say, hey, our way is better. Our messaging first approach is the future.
And not everyone was buying it.
Some were hesitant, yeah. Especially smaller businesses. Even though Meta's solution was cheaper, it was still a new system. They had to learn it, change how they do things.
So Meta had to, hold their hand a little bit.
Definitely. They had to offer training, support, make sure everyone is comfortable with the new tools. It wasn't just flip a switch and everything's perfect.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It was. But Meta, they're playing the long game here. They see this as the future of customer service. And the research paper, it hints at what that future might look like.
Okay, give me the inside scoop. What's coming next?
Well, they're going to keep pushing the AI stuff. Smarter chatbots, the kind that can handle almost any question. Plus, they'll use AI to predict what you need before you even ask.
Like mind-reading AI.
Kinda, yeah. They'll analyze your behavior, your past interactions, and try to offer helpful suggestions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Creepy, but interesting.
Definitely. And online shopping, that's only going to get bigger. So Meta's going to integrate customer even deeper into those platforms. They want the whole experience, from browsing to buying to getting support, to be totally seamless.
So even more connected than it is now.
Way more. And they'll keep working on those cross-platform messaging experiences. They want it so that it doesn't matter if you're on WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, it all feels the same. You can pick up a conversation right where you left off, no matter what app you're using.
That's the dream, right? Everything just working together smoothly.
It is, but it's a work in progress.
So to wrap this all up, what's the big takeaway? What does Meta's billion-dollar bet on customer tell us?
It tells us that they're serious about this. They see messaging as the future of how businesses and customers connect. And they're willing to spend big money to make that vision a reality.
Right. For businesses, it's all about efficiency, understanding their customers, and providing better service.
Exactly. And for us, the customers, well, hopefully it means smoother, more personalized experiences, fewer headaches, more happy interactions.
But we got to remember, there are still challenges, privacy concerns, competition, making sure businesses actually use these tools the right way.
Absolutely. It's a big experiment, and we're all part of it.
True that. So as you go about your day, think about this. How do you think this is all going to play out? Will we all be chatting with AI assistants and getting super personalized support? Or is there something we're missing? Something to be worried about? It's a question worth thinking about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.